What up, what up, what up? Hey, if you're not from America, let me hear it. If you're not from the U.S., if you're from some other part of the world.
Germany!
All right, where's all my Americans at? What's up? All right. You guys, give a round of applause to Alex Morton, you guys. Without a doubt, Alex has, really become one of the most dynamic speakers, I believe, in network marketing. Number one, especially, for young people. So, you guys, Alex is definitely, such a huge part of this company. And, when you get a chance to hear from somebody, for even a few minutes, it makes, I did the math, around $200 an hour, something like that. So you got to really understand that this guy, really has, knowledge and experience, and I'm so proud to be able to partner with Alex because it's like yin yang. He brings the fire. You guys agree? Yeah. But I'm a little bit more laid back, so I'm gonna do it my way and get a chance to talk to you guys. So you guys having fun? Yeah. Well, hey guys, I have been. Who slept last night? Raise your hand if you slept. Okay. Other hand, who did not sleep? I know. You were with me because I could not sleep last night. I was up all night. So excited. Appreciate it, bro. So excited about this weekend, you guys. I've been looking forward to this all year, and it's just so I'm so excited for all of you that are here for the first time because I remember my first convention, and I was young and just excited and just hopeful and positive, and I was just happy to be there. I was just happy to be at the event and to be able to experience it. So I'm so happy for all of you guys. And we had somebody, raise your hand if you lost your bag. I know one gal lost her bag in here. All right, somebody walked off with her, Vima's shoulder bag. So if you guys, black handbag. So if anybody has a black handbag, we're gonna find you. All right, the hunt's out. We're gonna find it. We'll find it, don't worry. Well, you can stay with us, don't worry. All right. Well, let's dive in, guys. We only got a short time here, so I really want to break down some things that I really know for a fact, without a doubt, this is going to help your business get to the next level. And, I really put a lot of thought into, today and really what I feel I can deliver for you. And I know Alex does a great job on mindset and, and setting that mindset in your mind on really what you want to do. In attitude, but I want to really talk about something that I think all of us need, right? And we need to realize from here forward. And I want to talk about creating steady growth. That's going to be my topic today, so if you want to write that down. But I know for a fact, if you look at the slide, that this event, for without a doubt, if you look over here, you got a light bulb, right? This could be the weekend that the light bulb turns on for you. This can be that event. That it clicks. This can be that event where, you don't really look backwards, and from here, you now have a new vision, a new purpose, and, unfortunately, look around. There's going to be some light bulbs around that don't turn on. So my challenge for you this weekend is to, allow yourself, so many people have been asking questions. Hey, man, what do you do about this? I'm like, you know what? Let the event answer some of those questions. Let the event give you the answer. And I want you guys this weekend to really buy into that, because these events are detailed, they're thought out, and I know for a fact that many of the things that you need and that you really are thinking about, you're going to find the answer here, being here. And it's important that you're in the event, you're taking notes. But I know for a fact that everyone in this room, that light bulb's going to turn on for you this weekend in a huge way. And I encourage you to take back this information, share this with your teams, share this with the new people you're going to be working with. Get excited, dude, about the new people who are going to be a part of your team. And the only thing I ask of you, the only one thing I ask, is be here next year. Raise your hand if you're going to be here next year. All right, well, I want to dive in here, and I love the theme this weekend because focus. You guys, I've been at every convention for this company, and it seems every year it's gotten better and better and better. But focus to me really means follow one course until successful. Okay, raise your hand if you feel like you've achieved the success that you want or have been looking for already? Already. Okay? And I didn't raise my hand either. Okay, so my point in this slide here is we got to stay, on course. You got to stay on the line. You got to focus here, guys, this weekend. And again, I always say this, but how does it work for other people and not for you? So let's talk about that for a few minutes and really find out what things can you adjust, what things can you improve, and what can you do when it comes to creating steady growth in your team, in your business. And number one, it's allowing, yourself to have that switch turn on. You've got to turn that switch on this weekend. And again, I think the things you're going to hear are going to help you do that, but you've got to focus. And I think a lot of that is this great slide here. It says focus, follow one course until successful. And what's your bullseye? I put that down there because what is your target? Okay, think about that. What's your target being here this weekend in your business and with what you're doing here in Bema? So we're going to talk about creating steady growth. And, the one thing that, we talk about growth, there's a lot of words that come around that. Okay, there's a lot of different things that come around that. But, the real concept that I believe you got to take away is, creating steady growth. The concept that duplication comes as a result of a leader creating an environment of these three things. Write this down. Number one, tools. You heard it earlier. Number two, events. And number three, recognition. Okay? The title of the day, creating steady growth. The switch has to turn on, guys. You're going to leave a much different person, than you came here. Okay? And number two, you got to get focused in. But what's your target? And when we talk about the concept of this breakout, duplication. Okay? Write this down. Compound interest. My friends never really got that one, that I grew up with. A lot of people I hang out with back home that don't do Bema don't understand some of that. Compound interest, okay, duplication. That is the secret to building, steady growth. So we're going to dive in on that. And, when we talk about steady growth, there's got to be a strategy here, guys. Okay, what kind of sport team goes out and plays without strategy? Think. Okay, what kind of business have you ever seen successful that didn't really have a blueprint or a strategy in what they're doing? So, really, I believe that, creating steady growth, but sustaining your growth in Bema comes from you and your leaders, catch this, building the same way. And I'm going to dive in around on this for a few minutes, and this is some freestyling, and hope you stay on point with me. If I were to ask you in your team, if you took 5 or 10 people on your team and everybody did a home event, I wonder how different they would all be, right? If we did a training, how much different would it all be? So being here today, and we're talking about, creating steady growth, the idea of duplication. As a leader, we're going to talk about the 3 things that you got to implement. But bottom line, guys, you have to be building the same way. I love the action plan. I love the roadmap. I love all the different plans. But this weekend, this company has got a new direction, and we're going to talk about that. So when we talk about that, you need to have a strategy, and we're going to break that down. And duplication, I love The Matrix. You guys remember that movie? Yeah? Remember when the guys, this guy, what was his name? Anybody remember?
Mr. Anderson.
What was it? Anderson, right? They just kept popping out. They just kept popping out. It was like, Neo's trying to fight these guys, and the next thing you know, these same guys in these black suits with glasses on keep coming out. And, I love that analogy, and I use that movie, The Matrix, in a great way because so many of us sometimes feel like we have to do everything, right? You have to be Neo. I've used this example in the past, that if you feel like you have to carry all the weight, okay, you're missing the point. This is about building a team. And to create duplication, like in that movie where you just start popping out success stories and it's the same message, it's the same method. Okay, you got to really think about that. And that movie, The Matrix, I love Neo because he's there to save the world. And if they don't find him, what? The world ends. Well, you don't have to be Neo. Just find them. And they're out there. And I promise you will find them when you know what you're doing. So I thought that was something to think about. But understanding the power of duplication, and that's what we're going to dive into here in really, building steady growth. So the concept of building a team. Okay, there's no I in team. You've probably heard that before, right? So, you got to realize that there's some very, important things to implement in your business from this weekend. Okay, here's a couple, 4 things, write this down. Integrity. okay? There's got to be a level playing, you know, a level of integrity of how you play the game, okay? And that, you know, I think you all know, but that's doing the right thing, okay? And we've all, you know, experienced different experiences, but the bottom line is you've got to find a level of integrity in how you build your business, number one. Number two, I love what Alex talked about, having that vision. You got to have values. I think you need values and really the way your team, you know, operates and the way that you guys are, you know, building on a weekly basis. You've got to have a certain value, a core value. And I think our company has that mission statement, but we as individuals need to have values that we live and build our business by. Number three, provide development, personal development. Okay, there's got to be a process in your team where you are lifting people up. I love what my dad says, when the water rises, all the boats rise. Think about that. I love that example. But again, you have to raise the water on your team. You have got to lift everyone up. Personal development and coaching. Write this down. Set the level of achievement high. I feel so many of us, you know, really don't, we think small sometimes. You know, someone asked me one day, he's like, what's your goal, or what do you want to do in this? I said, you know, I got some big goals. And, you know, I think people think, you know, $1 million a year is a lot, or $2 million, and it is. But, you know, you got some people out there that are doing way bigger. Okay, and so what you got to do is stop thinking small, and as a team, you got to raise the bar. Number one, in your integrity and how you build, and what you guys, you know, what you guys believe in, and really a lot of that is, you know, we're going to talk about behaviors, right? You know, the behaviors on and off the court, right? Oh, here we go again. Party time. All right, well, we're going to keep going. Stick with me here. So, right, number one, integrity. Number two, your values as a team. Number three, you know, the proper development, the personal coaching. And number four, you got to raise the bar. You got to set a level of achievement. There should be a precedent in your team that people hit bronze when they sign on. When people get started, they go bronze, they go silver. There needs to be a flow in your business that when new people enroll, it's game time. We start going right through the steps of getting them trained and ready to go, and it's time to work. And I love the saying, less training, more doing. Write that down. I think a lot of us are like overflowing with training and information, and it's like, oh, who has the coolest quote on Facebook and the most likes and the coolest pictures? Guys, that's all BS. Okay? I love the idea of run silent, run deep. Let your numbers do the talking. And a lot of us right now are looking around at other people, and we're wondering, what's he doing or what's she doing? What are you doing? And this weekend, I hope that switch turns on for you. That you realize you got to leave here and play this game different. You got to build your business different from a year ago, or 6 months ago, or 2 years ago. And a lot of that, number one, is just focusing more on exactly what task needs to happen. And when we talk about that, you guys, these are very important. Okay, so effectively building your team. Okay, and again, there's no I in team. A couple other things to think about: behaviors. We talk about this, guys, and again, I think it starts from the top down. I think for all of us to get to the next level, we have to step up as leaders and realize, in building a team, we got to have the right behaviors. And again, that's at the home events. Okay, I love when I see people at a home event, you know, that are in VEMA, okay, and they're leaning in. You ever notice that? You see people that are a part of our team, and they're focused, leaning in. They're not on their phone. So what kind of behaviors, little things go on in your team? And again, we're talking about building sustained growth, not overnight growth. We're talking about building duplication. How do you build duplication? You got to have a culture or an environment, a behavior that everybody is in line with. And I think from the company standpoint, I'm so excited that we're now all on that same page. We're all going to have a 2-and-go action plan. We all have one way to show the plan, and we're going to talk about this. But the behaviors that you portray on a daily and weekly basis are what your people are going to do. And again, that's not only at the home event, okay, and you know, you're you know, doing things, you know, not only at the events, but after. Okay, and that's something that I think we all need to raise the bar again, as we talked about. So, you know, when we talk about building a team, okay, what does your team look like? Is it reaching down? Is it lifting a new person up? I love this idea right here, this slide, that there's people out there in our business. They are on an island. Okay? They're by themselves. They don't hear from you. They don't hear from me. As a whole, we have got to realize now everybody needs to come together, and we've got to really take this thing to a whole new level. And how do you do that? You get better at building your team. You can have the attitude. You can have the mindset. That's great. But if you don't know fundamentals of what it takes to build a team, and I just, relate that to basketball, and I'll give you a few examples. I love this. This is cool, a cool example that, everybody's got to be pulling in the right direction. Everybody's got to be going in the right direction. And it's going to take a while to get this thing up. Okay? For me, it took 8 years to go, 8 years, shoot. No, 8 months to go diamond, 1.5 years to executive, 2.5 years to presidential, 4 years to star ambassador, 5 years to royal, 6 years to star royal, and it's just beginning. So, understand, you guys, this is long term. And again, it might take you time to swing this thing up. Some of you guys are on the tipping point right now. And if you master one, again, turning that switch on. And that's, on a weekly, on a daily basis in your business. But number two, you got to really remember that building the team is going to be the most important factor in your success. So there's 3 things that you want to write down and, really, building a team. Okay? And I think, again, there's got to be a blueprint. There's got to be a formula for success. There's got to be something that everybody buys into. And I think you need these 3 things the most. Number 1, a story. I love Les Brown. Did you not see he had that on the slide up there today? And I love what he was talking about. And I bet you he's got his story down like better than anyone, right? You could tell. He just got it. And he can play with it. And he can change it. And he can, lull it back and forth. And so the one thing that we all need to realize as a team, as a company, there's a story that we all need to share. But also individually. Okay, what's your story? And that's what I love Les Brown talked about. But in the structure and building the foundation and building a home, right? And building a home, you're going to need to really build that foundation. And number 1, it's having a story. That may write this down. It's got to be simple. I hear people in our team and around Vima, and it's like a math equation that when they talk, it's so in depth. People get lost. And I had a great talk with someone last night who talked about the confused customer. Luke Wilborn said there's too much going on and customers get confused. Sometimes there's affiliates in this business and there's too much going on and they get confused. Keep it simple, okay? Keep it relatable. I love hearing the ladies get a chance to talk to each other because that factor of relatability is so important in your business. We'll talk about that, okay? It's got to be simple. It's got to be relatable. It's got to be duplicatable, okay? If you can do it, great, but can she do it? And again, sometimes you need to ask yourself, am I a part of the team? And again, am I sharing in a sense that it can also, because see, I've changed my story over time. I've had to, many of us have. And I've had to make it more duplicatable, a little bit more of a format that people can follow. Because if I can say it, you can say it. And I believe now a lot of our message it's amazing to see now that what I say, you can say. There's not anything that I talk about that you can't. But you need to have your story down, and we'll talk about that. But obviously having a structure around your business, you need, number 1, your story. Number 2, you need a schedule. What's your schedule look like, guys, as a team? Okay, what's going on this week? What's going on in the next 30 days? What's going and the next 90 days? Okay, and I'm thinking out to convention in Munich. I'm reverse, write this down, reverse engineer your plan. Some kid asked me, he goes, Brad, along the way, how were you able to find success? I said, well, I don't know, dude. I just figured out what I wanted. I reverse engineer the plan to get it. He said, what do you mean? I figure out how many orders I need left and right to be able to afford that. So maybe you need to reverse engineer your plan to where you want to be to achieve these things that you have written down, but also for the people on your team. And if you don't know, where your team's at and their goal, and then reverse engineer a plan to push them to the next level, and you might want to know their goal even before them. You might want to know what it's going to take to get them to silver, gold, or diamond before them so that they already believe what you're sharing, what you're talking about. You need a story, you need a schedule, and you need a system. Okay, and I love what Jed Bunnelew's talked about yesterday. You have to defend the system. Okay, again, I love all the different plans that people have designed in this company, but now, at this point, we have one system, and it's going to be built around 2 and Go. And you guys, I cannot tell you how excited I am, and I'll make a point in a minute. So, you know, we were talking about quite a few things here. One other thing I really think that's so important in your team, competition. Develop a little competition. You know, Derek, Alex, you guys remember in the beginning, and it was like, whoa, what's our team doing and compared to Luke Hessler? You know, where are they at? And it was like this contest. And through different, but it was fun. It was friendly competition. So through some of the top leaders in this company, there's been a lot of friendly competition along the way, and I believe that drives us. You know, who had a chance to play basketball last night? I know some of us went out. We had fun, right? There's like 60 of us or something over at the gym playing it super late last night, and there's competition. And when you get on the floor, man, it's game time. I mean, we were battling, right? It was fun. But you got to develop competition in your business. How do you do that? I like little contests. Maybe an enrolling contest in your team. Maybe who has the most bronzes. Whoever creates the most silvers. I'm going to have a contest, you're going to hear about it. Whoever does 2 and Go the most. Imagine that. So you guys, come up with fun ideas, but things to do to create a little competition. And not to, again, you know, put anyone and make them feel, you know, not important, but to create a sense of urgency. And I think these are little things that we need to do in building our team. And again, building our team the right way for sustained growth, the concept to create duplication, compound interest, 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8, you follow what I'm saying. And these are things that we need to realize. Okay? Follow the rank advancement chart. Many of us don't keep our eye on this enough. And not only, you know, for ourselves, but for the people on our team. How far is someone on your team away from bronze? How far is this girl away from silver? One gal I got a chance to meet for the first time, she's a pro wakeboarder. And she's here at the convention, and she just hit silver. And I said, how do you feel? And she was so excited, she lit up. But again, if you don't know, if you're like 1 or 2 orders away, okay, and based off the rank advancement chart, and I think we all need to be building that. I love what someone talked about, you know, yesterday. I think at the first session we had, it was Billy McSwain or somebody, and he said, you're not going to just go from 0 to diamond, okay? Stop trying to skip ranks right now. Let's go 1 rank at a time, and let's knock that down, put it behind us, and move on. And again, sustained growth, you guys. So when we're talking here, steady growth, incentivize achievements. You know, I do this a lot. You know, I try to find little things to do with the team. Go out to the lake, okay, go out to dinner, you know, go out and go to a movie, go do things with your team. You know, some of the most successful people in this company have figured out that you have to turn off the switch and actually spend time with people outside of you. And have you done that? Have you spent time with your team outside of home events and one-on-ones? Are you going to just stop in their house and say hi? Do you pick them up for a lunch? You know, these little things that you can do will greatly build your business when you really realize this, you know, that spending time with the people on your team is the most important thing you can do. I love this quote. I don't bring people around me to compete. I bring people around me to complete me. And that's what Alex did for my business. You know, when we met and we just locked arms, we had that same vision. He completed what the other half that I needed. But who's your Alex? Who's going to be your, you know, other half? The yin yang. Who's going to be your running partner? And again, you got to bring people around you that are going to complete you. And again, everybody has strengths. So as a team, these are things we got to realize. Okay? Couple last thoughts, guys, as we wind down. The most important thing that you need to buy into this weekend, again, defending the system. As a team, you have to defend the system, and not, if it's not broken, don't fix it. What that means is, if you hear people saying, I got this idea and that idea, no, man, unless you're presidential or higher, follow what we're showing you. Because again, we have the experience. We've been doing this long enough. We know what works and what doesn't work. So these are the 3 things I said earlier that you're going to have to implement in your business leaving this weekend more than you ever have. Number 1, tools. Okay, tools. I can't stand it going to a home event and they don't play the freaking video. And I laugh and it's funny, but it's really serious, dude, because I get irritated when I fly across the country to help someone do an event. I'm like, all right, man, we're here. Let's rock this. Let's do it. Let's get you, a couple new people on board and you're going to break that tipping point. What's the plan? Well, I'm going to go up and him and okay, well, what video are we playing? Oh, we didn't even bring the cord. Okay, so there's things that we need to use, right? Tools. Number one, this is Vima video, the new Vima video you saw. Okay, I like where the company's going with this fresh content. And you need to buy into in your home event, in your small presentation, in your webinar, or even you follow format on a conference call, you need to, number one, utilize the tools, and that's the video. I asked a kid, this kid was I was in Philly with Luke Kish and a lot of his team, and this guy came up to me, he goes, hey man, would you do a call for me? I'm like, yeah bro, I'll do a call for you, sure. I said, but does this guy watch the video? No. I'm like, well, maybe he should watch the video real first, right? Follow the system, guys. It's a ladder of leadership that you need to build in your team, and many of us have gotten away from that. I just jumped to the presidential, I jumped to the executive. See, realize that when you're building this business and you use your upline in certain times, if you don't play the video and that guy doesn't see it first, okay, what if the video gets him excited and gets him on board? Right away, that's happened to me. Okay, maybe the video doesn't and you lead it to a bronze. How do you expect someone new to hear it from me making $2 million a year and then, that goes way over their head. Sometimes hearing it from somebody that's newer and is starting to see the ball rolling, they can relate to that a little bit better. Okay, create a ladder of leadership in how you work within your team. Maybe bronze, you jump to a gold. He didn't get on board with the video, he didn't get on board with bronze. I'm going to jump to gold. I'm going to get this guy to talk to a diamond. See, you should have 4 or 5 hops and exposures. And then you get up to an executive, a presidential. Don't you understand that the person that's new is not going to first time hear it from me, and if they don't get on board, they ain't going to go backwards and get on board when they talk to a silver. Do you follow what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay, so there's certain things in building the team, guys, that we got to realize. And I'm trying to give you a lot. I got ideas firing. I'm trying to stay on point. And the point being is all this stuff is stuff that we just learned over time. Okay, so today, this event, this weekend, this convention, man, let this be that event that switch turned on like never before. Nobody cares what happened in the past. And if you focus this weekend on building, what we talk about here, okay, what do we talk about? Steady growth. Steady growth. We need duplication in our business. Okay? How do you build duplication? You've got to use the tools, the events, recognition. But it's up to the leaders to create sustained growth to be building the same way. One message, one method. How do we do that? We use the tools. You got to have a structure in your business. We talked about your story. You got to have a schedule and you need structure. Number one, tools. Okay, this is Vima video. How Vima pays you. I love the new video we just got a chance to see. It's fresh, it's exciting. You're not going over left and right and points and this and that and cycles. It confuses people. The confused customer does not buy. The confused affiliate doesn't do doesn't move, doesn't do anything. So we gotta get people unstuck here. Okay. Number two, how do you create duplication? You need events. Okay. Imagine if you had an event this coming week. One event, right? Let's say we got like 2 more weeks in June and you got July and August. So let's say through, early September, 2 weeks in September, summer's over, 90 days away, right? If you had one meeting this coming week and for the next 90 days until the second week of September, okay? So you think about it. If you had 1, 4, 8, 12, and let's say you had 4 people there. So you could do the math, you guys. 48 meetings you're going to host, if you follow me, between now and the second week of September. If you just did one, if everybody in this room commits to one event a week on our own that I'm going to host, invite some people, I met this guy at the gas, whatever, right? I'm having an event on Wednesday night. And my upline's going to call in or Skype in or he's going to be there. But imagine if you had one meeting for the next 90 days, just one. Till the second week of September, that's going to be 48 events. Times that by 2 people and you and 1 more person. Times 3, times 4, times 5. I think I did it times 5, and it was like the number, or times 6, and it was like 15 or 1,000 exposures. When you go 6 people on your team, do 1 meeting a week until the end of summer, the 2nd week of September, you'll have over like 1,000 exposures in your business. You don't think you're going to land 100 orders, 50 orders, 200 orders? You will, if you apply what we're talking about and you get focused on events. And that's the bottom line tonight, guys. The one who tells the story the most wins. I like home events. That's my comfort zone. I like being able to build in that environment. And so when we're talking about duplication, you guys, tools, events, and recognition. And again, the events need to be a format. I was working with a group and we had an event, it was like 7 to 9. I'm like, dang, this was long. I don't know about you, but I don't have 2 hours to sit around. It's like a hangout. Shorten your meeting, 30 minutes, do 2 or 3 a day. Watch what happens. I promise you. Go one at 5 to 5:45, you're out, go get some food. You're on at 7:30 till 8:30. And if you got enough guts to keep going, go at 10. We do meetings at 11 p.m. Any YPRs out there? Yeah. I know you guys are up on the phones and doing Uvu calls at 9, 10 at night. Pay the price for the promise. Pay now, play later. There's a price to play, you guys. There's a time to play and a time to cycle. And this is the time to cycle. Okay, I love these tools. We got to wrap up here because we got another group. These are the tools that you've got to be. That's why they got you these. The flip book. One-on-one, this is your Bible, dude. This is going to guide you. Okay, the flip book, tools. Okay, the one-pager. I love this. The customer sheet. You guys, these in your tools. We've never had this before. This is amazing. And probably the most exciting thing this weekend is this one, the tear-off sheet of 2 and Go. You excited about that? Yeah. So, number 1, tools, okay? You got to apply this to your business. If you don't have these in your car, leaving this weekend and with you every day, don't expect to make it to the top. Leaders that do not promote tools don't go far. Because the tools will build the business, okay? You got to play the video. You got to go intro, video, product, company, success story. Beginning, middle, end. Intro, body, conclusion. It's like writing a paper, guys. 25 minutes, 30 minutes, shorten it up, and get your new people up there speaking. I go visit these groups, and I'm like, oh, it's the same speakers I was here 2 months ago. I saw you guys do an event. It's the same people. The flow, you got to get your people up there. Okay, last couple thoughts. We got to get going. 2-on-1s, 1-on-1s, hotel events, Super Saturdays. You got to have events. This is a people business. This is a relationship business. You cannot build without events. And if you have not had a home event, this week decide that you're going to have that one in the next 4 weeks, or till the end of summer, the next, 12, whatever it is, 12 weeks, 48 people. You do the math on exposures with 4 or 5 people on your team. 1,000 people are going to try the product and hear about this. You're going to have a bigger business in 90 days. And the last part's recognition. You guys, this is so big. Tools, events, recognition. And recognition is not like, oh, get them on stage and they get a bouquet and an award. It could be a text message when that guy gets his first person enrolled. Hey, I like that. You're the bee's knees. You rock. You rule. Okay? You got to recognize people. And it's going to be in a small way. They'll get to the big recognition. Everybody gets that time and that chance, but you got to recognize your people. Great leaders start off as great followers. Bottom line. Bottom line, you guys. And if you're ready to take this to another level, get back in line and let's get back in marching and take this thing to the top. And bottom line, if you guys know what that is, that's a logo for a brand called New Era. You guys, it is a new era in Vima. 2 years ago, a year ago, we did not have Body. A year ago, 2 years ago, we did not have 2 and Go. You guys, we are now bigger, better, stronger than we've ever been. You guys, we've made big success with Verve. We've had great success with Vima. We're not just a Verve company. I love the direction now. One builder pack. Learn how to talk about the Vima product. Maybe some of the parents, could try that product. You got to incorporate body in your business. And if we stay focused, keep the main thing, you guys, there's a new era upon Vima, and you are at the right place, the right time. Thanks for coming, guys.